Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. Trailer 2 has just dropped for It. Welcome to Derry. This is a teaser trailer, so it still doesn't show you a lot in the trailer, but there is a few things that I've noticed in this trailer that kind of adds to what we saw in the first trailer. So we're going to call this a trailer breakdown, but there's not much to break down, but I'll do my best to give you as much information as I can that I've noticed that maybe you didn't notice. First of all, guys, I don't want to start at the beginning of the trailer. I want to talk about this little boy here from just after 23 seconds in the trailer. He is the one that looks like he gets taken away by that family in trailer 1, and here he's at the cinema alone watching a movie. He obviously finishes the movie, leaves the cinema, and that's when this family pick him up. We think it's a family, but it's clearly not a family. It must be something to do with Pennywise, and he's probably the first victim. Now, I think they did mention that there was a 10-minute scene or a 10-minute opening at Comic-Con which featured this little boy. So he's obviously the first victim in this show, but I don't think it's the last we will ever see of him alive in the show, because one of the girls in the trailer mentions that she spoke to this boy and he tells her that he's been seeing things in the lead up to him disappearing. So even though he'll probably be the first victim in the show, I think we'll go and get flashbacks of him telling this girl of what was happening to him, and then she's obviously going to start experiencing that stuff as well. The scene itself does look quite frightening. You see the mum starting to scream. I don't know if that's genuinely the mum in the car or if it's just Pennywise playing with the little boy. Then it goes to the other boy in the car, and that looks a lot like Pennywise, or at least Bill Skarsgård as a young child. So maybe this little child turns into Pennywise in the back seat of the car. If we rewind back to the beginning of the trailer, you've got this main family. This is obviously going to be the focus of the show. They move into the town of Derry. Nobody really likes them because A, they're new, and B, it's possibly because they're a black family living in the 60s, so they're obviously going to get discriminated against for the colour of their skin. I'm still not sure who the family are and what their names are going to be. There's no names on IMDb. Nothing's been officially released. All we can guess is that young little boy in the family could possibly be Will Hanlon, Mike Hanlon's dad, or maybe the older boy who looks like he's in the army could be a young Will Hanlon who then becomes the father of Mike Hanlon. So I don't know yet if that older boy or the younger boy is Will Hanlon. They look like a well-to-do family. They obviously don't see the type of thing that they're seeing in this area of Derry very often. You've got the mum there. She sees a couple of boys battering into this young boy. Nobody else seems to matter. It seems to care, sorry. If you look behind her, you see the man just standing there smiling, whereas she's the only one that goes out to try and stop these boys from hurting this other boy. Now, if you rewind back to that scene, you've got the quality meats. So she's obviously in that store that was mentioned in the original movie in 2017. I like the little nod to Paul Bunyan there on the Welcome to Derry sign. Really cool. We've got some pictures of more kids that have went missing. That boy on the left-hand side there looks a little bit like Georgie from the It miniseries from 1990. It's obviously not him, but it just kind of reminds me of that image that they had in the original miniseries. And this one's quite eerie as well because the little boy is holding on to a clown. So I'm going to guess that that little boy loves clowns, and maybe It revealed himself as Pennywise the dancing clown, so that boy would go towards him. We might even see this little boy in the show at some point. I've got a funny feeling that we will, because I feel like that image seems a little bit more clear than the rest of the missing images. In the first trailer, we saw that same Derry High School sign talking about the turtle. In this one, it says curfew in effect, be home before dark. So obviously, at this point in the show, kids have already gone missing. If we look back on these kids again, and I mentioned this in the breakdown for trailer 1, they just genuinely feel like kids from the 60s, which I absolutely love. I hope it's going to be like the kids from Stranger Things, the kids from the Goonies, the kids from the Monster Squad, kids that actually feel like they were kids in the year that the movie is set. And obviously, for this one, the show, this is the kids looking at the paper of the local boy that went missing, the little boy who was at the cinema, and they obviously know this boy personally. We see more heart to heart between the mum and the son in this trailer, and I feel like there might be some emotional scenes in this show. Obviously, it's going to be focusing on this family more than any other family in the show. And there's something about it that I feel like we're going to get a lot of death in the show, of course. But within this family, I think they're going to be dealing not just with death, but maybe with mental illness, with that older boy being part of the military, maybe he's got PTSD. There's Mr. Bowers again. I thought initially that when the show was filming that the Bowers family were going to be playing a bigger role, but from the first trailer to this trailer, we've not seen a lot of the Bowers family. We've only really seen him. Maybe we will get into this one later on, but maybe we will see another Bowers character who's going to be a teenager. There we've got the obvious nod to the Shawshank Redemption. They're going to Shawshank State Prison. Maybe one of the Bowers family is already in there. There's a nice little red balloon going across the water. I know that we saw in trailer 1 of the little boy going fishing in that water, so it's probably the same scene. And there's this older boy again who I think might be Will Hanlon. I'm not too sure, but he obviously finds this Pennywise tomb looking thing that we saw in the first movie in 2017. I just love the callbacks to the 2017 movie, and I love the fact that we're going back to the same place and it still looks the same. Not sure what happened to this girl's eye. Maybe they had a rock fight just like they did in the movies. I did have a look at this missing board and I read every single name on the missing board, and I don't recognize any of the names from the book, the miniseries, or the movies. So if you can say a name here, guys, that ties into any of those, then please let me know. I'm just guessing that some of these names are probably names of family members of the people who made the show. Other than that, I've no idea. There are two sides of this board as well. We're looking at one side and there you can see there's another side. So maybe there's going to be other names on that board that we will recognise. It's so annoying because his name is clearly on his jacket and I can't read it. Even when I zoom in, I still can't read it. Maybe that's intentional so that we're not supposed to know who this person is, but it's clearly affected by something. He's seen something, and I bet you any money that people are going to blame it on PTSD from being in the army, and that's the kind of storyline that we're going to go with this character. So that's why I think maybe this guy is Will, and if he's not Will, then the little boy must be Will. This girl gets shown quite a bit in the two trailers, so I feel like she's going to be the Beverly Marsh of this group of kids. Of course, she's not Beverly Marsh. I'm just saying if we want to compare characters, I feel like she might be the Beverly Marsh of the show. We get a little glimpse of Pennywise in this spot here. That looks like not just Pennywise's head, but it also looks like George's boat as well. Obviously, this is set before George's boat, so it's clearly not. But maybe whoever goes down to see what this is, they'll see the shape of something that's not actually Pennywise. This is the older teenagers here who were beating into that young kid, and they're stepping up to this woman, probably because she's new and or black, but I feel that one of those teenagers is a Bowers family member. Don't know who it's going to be. It's possibly Henry Bowers' dad, who could be one of these kids who ends up becoming a police officer in the movie, in 2017's movie. So he's potentially one of these bad kids who, I don't know how he becomes a police officer, but he does. So I feel like he is maybe the one in the middle that is one of the Bowers. Now, I know that there's people looking at the situation here. I don't know if they're looking at her because she's black and new, or they're looking at her thinking, why are you helping these kids? Let the kids beat themselves up. We want nothing to do with these kids, because maybe there's something about the kids in this little town that the adults just don't like. This person is tied up in a chair with handcuffs on, so they're probably in a police station. But I don't want to seem stereotypical, but they look like someone from a native tribe. Maybe they're not from a native tribe, of course, because it's set in the 60s, but possibly their ancestors were part of the natives or the tribes. And it was the native tribes that initially discovered it. They initially discovered Pennywise, and they've obviously spoken about it through their generations. So I feel like this person here might know a lot more about it than anyone else in Derry. You see the person in front of them, obviously you can't see their face, but it looks like they're wearing military boots and military trousers. I don't think that's a police officer that's sitting with them, and I don't know if it's that character that might be Will Hanlon. Are they interrogating this person, or are they a prisoner with this person? And if it is Will, this might be the same scene. This person might be screaming because the person that I think is Will could be turning into Pennywise. So maybe it's not the original character. Maybe it is Pennywise pretending to be this guy, and the Native American person has noticed it and they're screaming for help. We get a lot of quick cut scenes that I could only describe as maybe some of the dream sequences or the sequences where Pennywise is coming for the kids. Not a lot you can see in it. All you can see is little screenshots and snippets, so I can't really discuss all of those. This one, however, does look interesting because I feel like that person in the background is not Pennywise. I think it's someone looking down or coming over to this well that is going to be where Pennywise comes up and down. That might not be the case. Maybe the house from part 1 gets built on top of that, because that looks like where the tunnel was, where Pennywise went down and up. But of course, there might be more than one place where it can do that. This is a great shot. No idea what's happening. I feel like Pennywise is taking children by the hundreds, or even the 20s and 30s, and they're all looking into the deadlights at the same time. It's such a stunning scene, but I feel like that might just be some random scene that will only last a couple of minutes. Well, I take back about that well with the house, because here is the house here built, unless this is set in the 80s, this scene, because it might go back and forward, but if this is set in the 60s, then of course those are two different locations. And there's that character again, the guy to the left, that I feel like is maybe part of this Native American tribe, and he's with the older brother, who is the father of the little boy. Again, no names, so I've no idea what his name is. No idea what this is, but this looks like something from the remake of Pet Sematary. I think this chase scene here is going to be cool because we do see that girl dropping glass jars onto the ground, so obviously Pennywise is playing with her. This is just a quick snippet of that scene again that I believe might be that club fire. We see more of it in trailer 1, but less of it in this trailer. And there we're going back to that chase scene in the drugstore, the supermarket, and Pennywise is coming out from the ground. This looks like she's maybe smashed all the jars, and then all the jars, or all the contents of the jars, are coming together, making this kind of ugly thing that's coming up from the floor. Here's a gas mask, and I think this is maybe the older guy or the older brother with the military outfit. Maybe he's got PTSD again, so he's going to see visions of possibly the war. These kids look like they're in the cinema, so maybe they're going back to the scene where that little boy from the beginning went missing, and then Pennywise is going to reveal himself to all these kids in this scene. Sort of like the scene where he reveals himself in the garage in the movie, or in the miniseries when they're opening up the book in the woods. That sort of scene I think we're going to get, when all the kids are made to believe in this one scene that Pennywise is actually real. This part here could be playing with us though. This might be the same scene where he's revealing himself to the gang, or it could be the scene where he's revealing himself to the little boy from the beginning, and this is what makes the little boy get scared and leave the cinema, and then eventually get taken by Pennywise. And the last shot is, again, just like trailer 1, the last shot is of Pennywise, but you can't see him. In the first trailer, you don't see anything. In this trailer, you see a clear image of his hand, and you can tell that it's him in the background. So we're getting to see him a little bit more with each teaser trailer. So we'll probably get another trailer where he gets revealed eventually. It's not like we don't know what it looks like, so they will eventually show him before the show comes out. But I just love the fact that we haven't seen him, even though we know what he looks like. It still feels mysterious. So that is everything that I've found from trailer 2 for It, Welcome to Derry. If there's anything else that I've spoken about that you want to discuss, then by all means, talk about it down below. If there's anything that maybe I didn't even notice, then please, again, leave your comments down below and let me know what we've missed so that we can all discuss it together. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you soon.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played in the cat?
Someone's in the back seat!